and welcome back to Choice Bits of Bliss. My name is Cilla. We are working on our third layout from this month's collection obsession. I'm using Auburn Lane and I'm so excited about it. I just can't keep my hands off of it. And we all have to do what's right for ourselves with our inventory, our stash, our products, the things that we've chosen to buy, whatever you want to call it. You have to do what feels good and what feels right to you. I felt like I needed another set of Auburn Lane. So I've told the story. Years ago, I bought it again. I do not regret it. This time, while I'm playing with it, I'm happy. I'm excited to dig into it. But I don't have that feeling anymore of, ooh, I've just got to hang on to all of this. I can't use it. It's tearing me up to have to use it. No one's making me use it. And my first collection that I had bought, which I did not buy the entire collection the first time, I felt that way. And every time I would see somebody do a layout with it, I would just be almost grieved for them because I couldn't believe they were actually using it. And Moira put it into perspective for me years ago and was very gently, very kindly explained that we buy this stuff and we need to use it. She was right. 100%. She's right. But what do you do when you have that super emotional attachment to something that is so beautiful, you love it so much that, and it's not really a fear of cutting into it, but just if I cut into it, I won't have it anymore. That's the only way I know how to describe how I've been feeling about it. That feeling is gone. It is 2023. This product came out in the fall of 2018. And you know what? I'm not going to say I'm over it, but I'm enjoying playing with the products in a different way. The enjoyment is so different. I think it's more wholesome. Maybe that's the word. It's just more wholesome this time. And I just have no hesitancy, just pure joy and excitement about playing with it. Okay, that's enough rattling on about that. I have created my background. So we have this. I love it already. I am going to dig into my 6x8 pad, and I've chosen these 4 papers. I am going to cut some frames out of this, with my silhouette. And I've done some fussy cutting here to get ready. I may do 2 layouts today. We'll see how this goes and how fast everything comes together. Because I have these scraps from my previous layouts, and you know what? I love them and I want to use them. So I'm thinking about doing another layout with just scraps. Remember, for me, when I'm doing my burn rate, I don't count scraps. I only count full pieces of paper. So if I do another layout today, it's a freebie because it's all scraps. All right, let me go cut my frames out and I'll be right back. Okay, I have matted my 3 strips that I wanted on this layout. I like the placement, so I think I can go ahead and tack these down. This is roughly these are exactly what I want. What I'm doing by trial and working with is all the other components of this layout. I've cut my 2 frames that I want. And I'll show you what they look like. I want them to be able to hold a 3x4 card. And I believe my eyeballing on the computer, these are a little bit too big. But that's okay. I can fill them up. That's not a deal breaker. So that's my 2 frames. And my photo is going to go in here. And I'll talk more about this photo. As you can see, I'm in a bridal shop. But that's kind of like the placement I want. So let's figure out what I want inside. So I want to bring this green in. This lighter, softer tones. Because these black mats are harsh. And there's deep. This green is a really deep, almost jewel tone. So I like that. And I'm going to fill up the bottom of this probably with some of these flowers that I've fussy cut. So something like this. Maybe I will do this. I think I'm going to have to trim off some of these leaves is what I need to do. So that's going to be something similar to that. I love this dark color. So this Merlot or Burgundy, whatever color that speaks to you, I love that. I'm going to fill this top portion with flowers. And I'm going to cut apart this where it says my heart is full, and I'm going to put it on the top. So let's do a trial. I think I want the bigger one on this side. And once again, I'm probably going to trim some of those leaves. I'm definitely not using this one. It's too big. So let's try something in a smaller scale. Something like that. I think I'm going to have to pull this down because this is too symmetrical. And I don't want it to be symmetrical. So let's go do this so that we have a little bit of, or I can shift this to the top and put the flowers at the bottom. That's probably going to be the better solution. Okay, I think I like that better. So we're having that diagonal design. I like that. Let me do some adhering and then I'll come back. I have pretty much finished my layout because once I started playing, I just kept playing. I have added some puffy stickers and I have added some flat heart stickers, and I have trimmed my fussy cut flowers until I got them the way I wanted them. I tucked a little house back here that I also fussy cut out, and I'm happy with how this turned out. Now, let's talk about the photo. Obviously, I'm trying on my wedding dress. I wanted a T-length wedding dress because our venue had lots and lots of stairs, and I was terrified that I was going to trip if I had a long flowing gown. So my wedding dress was exactly what I wanted. I was happy that I found it. But if you can see my face, I'm there alone. I had gone by one day on my lunch break from work, done my shopping. I picked out my dress. It needed some alterations, and then this is me trying it on after the alterations. I'm built kind of funny, and they needed to compensate for my build. So this was a very stressful time, and my face doesn't look happy because I wasn't particularly happy. But time is a wonderful medicine because my husband insisted that we had a wedding. Now, we were already married here, but he insisted that we go through and have a wedding and celebrate with our friends, and I didn't feel like I needed that. He did, and so we did it. And to this day, I still don't feel like I needed that. But I don't feel the angst, maybe, about having a wedding because it's done and it's over. But I don't feel that angst and stress anymore about it. So our wedding day and the preparations getting ready for the wedding, even though it was stressful and on top of all of the other stresses that we had going on at that time, I don't feel bitter or angry or hurt about it. So it ended up being a good thing. Now, I used this 3x4 card because it was in autumn when I took this photo. And I told you when I first started this collection that as I progress through the month, I'm going to be doing progressively more autumn style photo or layouts and photos. So this was taken in October of 2019, and my heart is full. I'm still very, very happy that we're married. We've been together for 10 years, and you know what? He is definitely the person that I want to be with and enjoy the rest of my life with. So that's enough of that sappy mess. I said we would probably do 2 layouts. So let me pull my stuff together and give me 1 second. Now this paper is what I cut my wreath out, on my first layout. And I don't want to waste this, but I'm going to use it as a background. I think I want, does it matter? I don't think it matters which way it's turned. I'm going to cover this, and I'm kind of torn between covering it like this and then doing a border with this one, something like that is what I'm thinking. So let me get this laid out and adhered. I'll be right back. I have used a piece of white cardstock to go ahead and cover this completely. And even though that pink wood, it just felt gappy. That may not be the word, but that's what we're going with. And I just feel like I need to cover up this seam. So I had this washi still on my desk from a project I had completed, and I'm going to cover the seam with that washi. I put the washi down on black cardstock, and I love it. Tell me what you think about that. I've heard the Vanessa trick, of course, to put it on white cardstock so that it stands out. But let me tell you, I am in love with this washi, this particular washi on black cardstock. I just really, it gives it kind of a grunge effect and makes it look a little more, not so clean. That's probably the best way to describe it. I like that a whole heck of a lot. I need to print out my photos, but this is coming together and I'm really happy with it. Just hold on. I have done quite a bit, and as you will notice, I have turned my layout because once I got my photos printed out, I really wanted to use these 2 scraps as they were. So once I started kind of playing with positioning, it made more sense to turn my layout and then start creating that. Now, I will just go ahead and say 2 things. My stepdaughters are gorgeous. Number one, they won the genetic lottery. They are absolutely fabulous in every single way, and they're humble. They are not stuck on themselves, or they're just, you know, really great people. And this was a photo session, so this was me doing professional photos. So that's those 2 things aside. Now I'm just looking at placement. I think I want them matted. I want the photos to really be what catches your eye, and you can't help but notice, I mean, how gorgeous they are. Look at them, my gosh. But I do want that to be a little more impactful. I love my scraps. This is scraps. Well, actually, this entire page is scraps. But I like how it's coming together. So I'm going to start adhering some things. I'm probably going to mat those photos. Don't be surprised when I come back and they're matted. This is what I'm thinking about. In the 6x8 paper pad, there's gold foiling. And that's not present in the 12x12 pad. So I need to bring something in to mimic that. This is a specialty paper from Michaels. I believe it's Recollections. I don't know for certain. I love the texture of it. Love that. And I'm thinking that if I layer this on this, it's really going to make these stand out the way that I want them to. Because this is fall time of the year. This particular day, we were getting ready for our Canadian Thanksgiving dinner, which is in October. So I want to play off of that yellow tone. All right. I'm going to start cutting into these and matting these photos. We're going to see how it's going to look. I'll come back and show you. I wanted to pop back in and share this with you because I'm going to pop up the photos. This particular product, you can see how they're bigger. Teresa shared these with me when we were together in Georgia. They are in the Dollar Tree in the automotive section, and I would have never ever gone to the automotive section to look for these. So I thought that was great information, and it's a good value. Now I'm only going to put, because this picture is going to overlap this photo, I'm only going to put the pop dots on one side, and then I'm just going to put adhesive, just regular adhesive on this side. The adhesive that I used to do my layers with, I used ATG, and I made sure, even though you can't really see it, I made sure that I placed my ATG strips behind where the photos would be, so that that's not going to be something that's distracting. Okay, it's time to stick things down. I'll be right back. I want to use this beautiful as my title. I want it to be more substantial than a sticker offers me. So I'm going to build that up, and then I'm going to add things around it so that it has more substance and impact. I have done what I said I was going to do. I have created a larger setting for my title, and I've turned my leaves so that they're turning. Looks like they're turning and it's going in this clockwise direction. And if you'll notice, I've got all of these cut off over here on the side. And the only advice I can give you, which is what I learned from Mercy Tierra when I started scrapbooking again, you make your die cuts, your fussy cut pieces to what you want them to be, what you need them to be. So I did. I took off the leaves that I didn't need, and then I added leaves back in where they weren't and I needed them. So you just do what you need to do. I am going to add another piece on this. I want it, this little die cut says, "Let us gather together in Thanksgiving." It just kind of gets lost if I place it there. So I'm going to mat it on a piece of scrap black and then place it on there. I trimmed it down just a little bit because I did not want it to have, I didn't want it to overtake the house completely. And I may tuck in another house up here. I'm still undecided about that. Let me trim this out and I'll make that decision. Okay, my friends, that is it. I decided against the house. It just took away from it, and I didn't want anything else to take away from it. I love this layout. It is a freebie. The only extra thing I used, well, I did use these two, and I used a piece of cardstock. Oh, anyway, everything else is scraps. So I love this layout. I will definitely share it with the girls and let them see how it turned out. Thank you for joining me. We got 2 layouts completed this week. Woo, woo, woo. Excited about that. Come back. We're going to play with Auburn Lane one more week. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye.